Hello traders, Nick Shaheen looking at Nikola. Electric vehicles, it got caught in the fad. I'll give you a little background as to this is not the first video I do on it. I haven't done one in a while, but somebody asked for it, so there it is. So my first impression, first time I saw the dude, the Nikola dude that got ousted, can't remember his name now, but he rubbed me the wrong way because it was right after they went public and he was on the NASDAQ, I believe, being interviewed by CNBC, and I knew nothing about it or him. So I came with a clean slate, and he was so proud of the stock and nothing about the company itself. And then, so I was skeptical. But then I turned around, I was like, okay, maybe they have kudos. Everybody loves them on the street. And then, they had industry experts tout their potential and all of that. So I was like, okay, I can get on board with this. And we traded it a few times positively, and it worked out. So, and then we all know what happened, right? The whole story got bombarded, and he got ousted in not a pleasant way. So I don't know if it's fair to pinpoint him. I'm sure the rest of the people at the top knew what the hell was going on, whether the truck had power or not. The message was from management, unless he did it behind closed doors. But anyway, today's comments are purely technical on the chart because I'm going to make the assumption that they still have a viable business. Oh, by the way, they also had a big multi-billion-dollar order. I don't know how many garbage trucks, and they were proud that they were going to have they were going to be able to reuse a platform they already had as far as chassis. That order is gone, last time I heard. So a lot has gone wrong. Yet here it is. Still alive and in the 20s, which is pretty freaking amazing. So let's talk charts. Okay, so this green line, this is a daily chart, nothing fancy so far. I noted last year at some point that it was pretty important because it had history. If you want to look back, you can see where they failed perfectly. They failed and then they broke out from it. They never revisited it until the September of last year. To the penny, bounced. You can argue that it bounced again here. Not you can argue for a fact. And then I said doom scenario if they lose the support. Well, so far they're proving me wrong. The scenario was bad, but they held support in this long consolidation. So they had enough fans to step up and hold the low, whatever it was, $13, $14. Great news for the bulls. So if we zoom in a little bit, we can establish, I can immediately tell you, something is going to happen soon. Up or down, don't know. There's a big move coming. I can guarantee you that. The price doesn't pinch from this wide of a range without something extravagant happening thereafter. So let's look at it. I'm going to mark it up. Bring out the trusty crayon. We have higher lows, which is good for the bulls. They're in control. They're buying the dips. Not buying the dips. They're establishing dominance as far as price action. But they're still fighting levels. Every level is a fight. This one was a fight. Why? Because of this one. And then they popped and filled the gap. That's great, right? Technically speaking. Then they gave it back up. That's normal. That's how you establish dominance, by repeating the process over at the next problem area, which is, what the heck is this, right? So, and now the technicians will be, if it goes like this, it's going to do this. Cup and handle, whatever you want it. It's a neckline that fails for the bears, and the bulls overwhelm them. And then maybe they'll cover this mess. And what is this? So clearly this area is going to need a lot of work right here whenever they get to here. Okay, so why is the move coming? And that's my opinion here. So we have the range come from really wide, wherever you want to draw the line. The range is going from here and coming into a pinpoint. So they're going to have to break out of that one way or another. So this will be the trigger level. This will be the trigger trend line. I like to chase level breakouts rather than trend breakouts, but depends on the person. Harmonic people like to chase the level as soon as the pattern draws itself. So they might tend to chase the breakout of a line rather than a level. But anyway, it's going to break out this way or dip one more time. So if the dip holds this area, then my doom scenario is completely negated for sure. If not, then this scenario is still in play, and you don't want to know how low it goes because we don't know. There's just capitulation. So not calling for it. I'm just laying out the two scenarios. I started by laying the upside scenario, did I not? I said the bulls are in control, and they are. So the breakout could be just a simple breakdown and find footing and reattack it and deal with it as it comes later. So it doesn't have to be a doom scenario. It's going to come down. They're going to find support right here first. I can't see it now. A little over 16. Let's call it 17. They're going to last ditch effort at 14 if 17 fails. And if that fails, we won't talk about it. So the point is, I don't set my preconceived notion of what's going to happen. I tell you I look at what's happening. That's fact. Higher lows. Oh, by the way, if you don't believe in technical analysis, you should expand your opinion on that. Machines are doing all the trading, 80% of it, and they use nothing but that. So you are shutting yourself to the logic of 80% of the trades. That doesn't make sense. Putting blinders on, it doesn't help. This is the trigger. So the fight is going to tighten between these two until one side takes over the other. Higher lows, attacking a neckline, lower highs, squeezing the price action, prior history with all these levels, support down here. I guess I can extend that out to 330 or whatever that is. Yeah, that's enough. Has a support that it just survived doom. It still can come, but I'm going to concentrate on the upside. I want these EV companies to survive. History tells us this, that probably maybe 10% of them survive, because that's what happened with gas cars. That's what happens with all new businesses, sectors. So the EV has a lot of work to topple the internal combustion engine. And the move is going in the right way. We don't know what's going to happen. The potential of EVs is still huge because they're still so far behind ICE, internal combustion. Last I checked, it was 80 million, I'm rounding, to 2.5 to 3 million of EVs. So 80 million a year produced gas burning, fossil fuels, versus 3 million. So therein lies the opportunity, right? But not everybody's going to be a winner. I think most of the supply will come from existing car companies. My neighbor literally just got an Audi, and it sounds amazing. Best EV. I'm a racer, and in my younger years, I used to race open wheel cars, and so I love the growl of the car, and it'll be hard to convince me to drive an electric car. That Audi is an electric car I would own. It just sounds like something from outer space. It's just amazing. Much better than anything else I've heard from all the EVs that I've already had. So we don't know who's going to win. My bet is on the big guys. Tesla is already a big guy in the EV world, so chances are it's going to be a winner. NIO is up there also, and all the rest are going to be fighting for scraps. And they may just exist in a niche market. They may blow up, but there's only one Elon Musk, and there's only one Chinese government. So you're going to need help from a big guy, either big thinker, big money, big country behind you, for these niche companies to break out into huge mass markets. So Hyliion is one that I promised I would not do a video on because the fans of it are ingrates. I tried to help out, and all I get is cuss words. I was long. I told them I was long, and I said lose 18 and there's doom coming, and you won't snap out of the doom until you get back 18. I got nothing but mockery and cuss words. And one day last week, they popped above 18 and they gave it back right away. 12 is still in the books, if not lower, if they don't get their act together and get back above 18. I could be proven wrong. All it takes a headline, but technically speaking, it's not looking good. So Nikola fans are nicer, right? Somebody asked for the technicals on it, and I am not a Wall Street guy, so please take all of this with a grain of salt. But I have good record. You can watch all my videos back there. I'm telling you, there's a move coming Which direction, I don't know, but I do know what lines will trigger it. So for example, a dip into 1950 on the chart is buyable. So if indeed falls, I could try to catch the falling knife somewhere in this area, because this is the point of control. If I look left, okay, mini lesson. These are volume bars. These are volume bars. It's the same information. These down here tell me when the actual transactions happened, which doesn't help me a lot. These tell me at what level they've happened, at what price. That is helpful information. So when the stock is falling, it's going to fall into the two heaviest areas of transactions. 18 and 19.5 are the two heaviest areas of transactions by far. The problem is the next biggest is right here. So they have support below, because if they fall into those two heavy volumes, areas are going to be sticking like glue. But they're stuck in glue right now because they're stuck in the third this one. They're stuck in it. So clear it, and then you'll have all kinds of support below you. So Nikola fans need to get their act together and just inch up. They don't need a burst. Inch up. Normal price action. So ideally, what I would do, if I had to chart it from here to here, no, that would be ideal. But if they can just inch up something like this, to get to here one more time, and then prove that they can take it, come back, oops, we got done, test it for support, and then break out. Then the upside will be about this big up here. And then different conversation up here. There will be resistance lines like this particular place right here. And I bet it's a zone because of these messy, that rejection up here is monstrous to deal with once we get there. Don't know what's going to take to get that done. All right, that's enough blabbing. Keep it without emotions. If you love the stock, if I love the stock, I tend to want to see what I want to see and ignore what it really is there. So for example, here, technical, this path I laid out somewhere around here. It didn't trigger exactly at the right time, but look at the extension of it. Once it triggered, it went almost exactly to where I thought it would go. I knew it was going to face resistance somewhere in here. So if I were long, I would have gotten out anywhere near the top of my arrow, because I knew there's a ledge it needed to deal with, and it would fill the gap perfectly. And in fact, the top of the candle where it actually closed is exactly my arrow. I don't draw these ahead of time. You can go back and watch the videos. I bet you'll see it clean. Here, I knew that there would be a breakout as soon as they beat this prior failing level. They didn't do it this time. They took their time. They came back, and once they broke out, the extension was almost exactly the top of the candle, the closing candle, almost exactly to my arrow. I'm not making this stuff up, and I didn't study it in school. I picked it up on my own, and the levels are solid. I'm very confident of the levels. I can't guess which way the market is going to go. That would make me Nostradamus and a bazillionaire, but I know what levels trigger what. So in this case, if I'm looking for a trade, there's no action here. Anything I do here, I'd be anticipating. If I go long, I should stop myself at a certain place that negates the thesis. So like anything lower than 22, that will get me out and re-engage lower. If I want to chase the breakout, I should wait for this breakout. So if I go long here, I want to capture this swing. That's why I said I should stop myself out, so not to ride it down here and turn the trade into an investment. All right, next signing out. Later, bye.